I started this oil painting 9 years ago and just finished it now. Let's go through everything I learned about water mixable oils while painting it. I started by transferring my sketch onto canvas. Now, painting with oils can be very slow since you need to wait for the paint to dry before painting another layer. Otherwise, the layers will just blend together and make a mess. So, one way to speed it up is making an underpainting with acrylics. Acrylics dry fast, so you can paint oils over acrylics, but usually not the other way around. I painted over the lines of the sketch with brown acrylic paint to make the sketch more of a visible guide with the shadow part showing too, and also to make sure the graphite would be kind of sealed inside the acrylic paint, so it wouldn't smudge the oil paints. I also painted the sunset sky a pink solid color and the city silhouette light blue, so they'd be covered with one layer of paint before even getting to the oil paints. I like to continue the painting to the canvas edges too. I got out the water mixable oil paints and started squeezing blobs of paint on the palette. The first palette I used was a wooden one and it turned out to be hard to clean, so I switched to this glass frame with a white paper inside. It doesn't have to be white though, you could put more of a mid-tone grey paper inside the frame too. And I poured a little bit of water mixable linseed oil that came with the set in a glass jar to use as a solvent. But let's talk about the colors I chose first. I started out by painting her skin, and the colors I chose for mixing the skin tone were yellow ochre, vermilion, burnt umber and zinc titanium white. So a yellowish light brown, orange red and a darker brown and white. I added a bit of vermilion to the yellow ochre and then lightened it with white. And as you can see, this mix turned out very yellow and orange, which was not my intention, but makes sense based on the pigments I chose. We'll get to a better color mix for a light brown skin tone, which is what I was going for, later in the video. But I tried adding more white for the lighter areas of the face and adding more burnt umber for the shadows, and blending them together. I mixed the pink for the headscarf with scarlet, which is more of a blue toned red, and white, and covered it with a pretty much solid color. The acrylic painting sketch still shows up from underneath. I added some shading with a darker pink and a purple I mixed and blended them in, and also painted the scarf underneath purple. I had painted the lines of the mouth with a darker brown mix earlier and now painted the lips with the pink mix and then blended in some more saturated pink. I actually made up the colors of the clothes to fit the pink and purple sunset sky. Her original clothes were red and black, but I'm not really following the reference of the girl closely anyway. I'm also not showing the photo because she just happened to be in the background of one of our holiday photos. So I turned the canvas upside down on the easel to make painting the city skyline a little easier. And yeah, I switched to painting on an easel after the acrylic painting part to make it easier to see what I was painting, and it's also ergonomically better that the painting is more upright instead of completely flat on the desk. Following my reference photo we had taken of a sunset from the Cairo Tower, I started with a darker purple near the buildings and blended that from pink to a lighter pink higher on the sky. Now, oil paints stay wet for a long time, and even water mixable oil paints, which do dry faster than traditional oil paints, stay wet for multiple days. So you can keep working on the painting and blending paint on the canvas if you come back to it in a few days. I started this in the beginning of January 2017 on Christmas holiday and didn't come back to it till the next Christmas holiday at the end of December 2017. Before continuing with the painting, I had cleaned the glass palette by scraping off the dried paint with a scraper and probably wiping off the remainders with oil. I started off by mixing lemon yellow and zinc titanium white for the moon and used this ruler with circle holes as a stencil to get it somewhat round. I also painted the shirt dark purple and finished the pink gradient for the sunset sky. Of course, that part of the painting had already dried by now, so in order to blend, I had to paint over some of the parts I had already done. I also wanted to darken the skyline above the buildings to make them stand out more. I was using linseed oil as a solvent during painting and a water jar for cleaning the process in between colors. The fat over lean rule in oil painting might sound weird, but it means that the lower layers of your painting should contain the least amount of oil, and then you can add more oil with each new layer or keep the same amount of oil. With water mixable oil paints, this could mean that for the first layer you use water as a solvent, like you do with acrylic paints, dipping the brush a little in water before getting the paint from the palette so the thick paint flows a bit better. You can't use water for traditional oil paints though, they do not mix with water. For the next layer you might dip the brush in a bit of linseed oil instead, which is thicker than water. By this point I realized I needed to add something more interesting below the city skyline, and I drew rows of building silhouettes getting bigger with each row going down. The references I used for the building silhouettes were some photos we took in Alexandria. I painted each row of buildings a slightly darker solid color blue than the last one, so that the darkest buildings are closer to the foreground. And I finally remembered to continue the oil painting to the edges of the canvas as well. This time I abandoned the painting for multiple years. The reason I wanted water mixable oil paints instead of normal oil paints was to avoid using toxic solvents like turpentine for painting and cleaning the brushes. And I was told you can wash the brushes with just soap and water like after acrylic painting, but that was not the case. Water and soap did not clean my paint brushes at all after oil painting, especially after using black or other dark colors. So, by the time I came back to this painting in 2026, I had found another solution for keeping the brushes at least relatively clean. Part 1 is pouring pine soap and water into a glass jar and storing the brushes there during painting. And when I switch colors, I wipe the excess paint on a paper towel and clean the brush in that liquid. I got out the same glass frame paint palette. I keep plastic wrap on the paint palette to keep the paints clean and wet for longer, but I use oil paints so rarely that they had dried again since my last oil paintings. I didn't bother cleaning the palette this time though. I just squeezed out a bit of each paint and started mixing. After several years of first opening the paint tubes, they've gotten all leaky, the oil is separating and oozing out of them I guess, so I have to use gloves to touch them now. And they're really sticky too. I'm still using them though. I think the white is going to run out first and then I need to think of what to do. I do have an unopened regular oil paint set with a white paint tube, but mixing that in with the water mixable paints is probably going to change my process. I finally got started on those details in the eyes and the face to make this painting look nicer. But the skin tone was an issue I wanted to fix. I wanted to tone down the yellowness, so this time I added blue to the mix to mute it down. Now the colors were red, yellow, blue and white. Just realized I didn't actually film the mixing, but I start out with just the red, yellow and blue that became a darker muted brown. Then take a bit of that brown and add white to get a medium tone. And then take a bit of that and add more white to get a lighter tone. And do that one more time to get more of a highlight tone for the face. And it did not turn orange. Now, I did previously use linseed oil as a solvent for this painting, so according to the fat over lean rule, I should keep adding linseed oil. But since this painting is so old that it's completely dry, that rule is not important anymore. The rule is more so because the more oil you add, the slower it dries. So if you add less oil on top of more oil, the top part might dry faster, contract and crack. And the same could happen if you paint acrylics over oil. But since the painting is already dry, it's okay for me to use water as a solvent and actually paint lean over fat. So I didn't get out the linseed oil this time. Another reason to add more oil would be to make transparent layers that deepen the colors with glazing. I covered most of the face with one of the lighter shades, used scarlet and white for mixing a blush and deepening the lip color too. And just kept adding highlights and shading to the face and blending them in and making it look smooth. Oil paints are very forgiving, so if you don't like some line or brush stroke you made, you can keep blending it in. I started really liking this painting when the face and skin tone got into a better shape. I did also deepen the colors of the headscarves and add folds to the shirt and the white pearl pins to the scarf. I wanted the buildings to show up a bit more, so I darkened the outlines and then blended them down to make it look like the lower parts of the buildings were kind of fading. Now, if you're going to continue painting the next day, I don't think you need to clean the brushes. You can just leave them in that soap water, but probably best if the water doesn't reach the wood part of the brush. But I was finished with this painting and wanted to clean the brushes right after painting. I swirled the brushes in the pine soap liquid to get it everywhere and then wiped the brushes on a piece of paper towel I had been using anyway while painting. I poured out this paint water into a waste paint water bucket. Next I poured out some cooking oil on a lid and swirled the brushes in that. This got out a lot of the leftover color. I scooped up the oil with a piece of paper towel and put it in the trash. And mixed one more liquid of dish soap and water and swirled the brushes in that for a final rinse to remove the oil and let them dry on a paper towel. This was what I had to say about water mixable oil painting on canvas, but if you want to paint on a smoother and untreated surface like cardboard, do you need to prep it first? Watch this video next. See you there. Thanks for watching.